What is up, guys? And first and foremost, I hope you guys had a great Christmas if you celebrate it wherever and wherever you are. But in today's video, we are coming up with a first place zombie deck profile. Now, the day after Christmas Sunday, our locals had a Christmas event, a little cool, little fun, little tournament, nothing too crazy. And it wasn't a big turnout, but zombies, anti-meta zombies. I decided to mix it up a little bit. I wanted to test out zombies one more time before I put it down until the new Mayakashi trap card comes out, which, by the way, that Mayakashi trap card is actually pretty fucking good. Mayakashi is going to be pretty fucking good soon, too. So I decided to test out zombies, a little more familiar with the deck, getting prepped basically for the Mayakashi support whenever that comes out. So without further ado, let's go. Now, of course, zombies. We have, of course, the 3 Unizombie. He is basically your main, starter. Basically, he's just a great card. Along with Shiranui, Solitaire, these guys just go hand in hand together. These basically are your standard zombie core. Nothing too fancy about that. Next, we do run, of course, Mizuki, the common Mizukis, of course, best Mizukis, and we do run 2 Gozukis as well for our Zuki package. Mizuki, of course, you'd banish, of course, special summon a zombie from the graveyard, and of course, Gozuki just kind of sets up that play. He basically mills a zombie from deck to graveyard during your main phase 1, and then if this card is sent to the graveyard, you can banish 1 zombie-type monster from your graveyard, except for Gozuki, and you can special summon a zombie from hand. So, kind of cool. Gozuki, most builds only run 1, but I kind of like his little niche ability. I've always been a fan of Gozuki a little bit too. So that is our little package there. Our other zombies, we have our boss monster, Baladroge, which is basically one of my favorite in archetype boss monsters besides Superconductor. I think Doom King's a little more cooler though. But Doom King, he is actually super good, super annoying for decks to deal with. Once he gets out, he's just gonna keep coming back and back and back. It's crazy. Of course, we have the 2 Necro World Banshee to go along with that. She basically fetches your zombie world. It's basically your built-in search for the deck, so. And it's also a cool little card because her quick effect is very useful because you can just banish her from grave during, say, your opponent's turn, and then, have them pop up Zombie World, and then they're kind of screwed, especially tri-upgrade players. They really hate that Zombie World. A couple one-off zombies. We have Jacko Bolan. He's a pretty cool card. He allows you to discard zombies from the hand to the graveyard. Kind of sets up your Mizuki plays, anything like that. Especially some. He's pretty big booty. He's pretty cool. I really like him. And then, of course, we have the 1 Glow Up Bloom as well for, your synchro plays. And also, the fun. Now, into our little package we run a artifact package with Scythe and Dagda in the extra deck. So of course Scythe, a lot of people don't like this card right now. I get it, it says no, so I get that completely well. And then we run 3 Feet Ash. I wanted to hit everything depending on the type of matchups. This did get side out a lot because Ash is good against certain matchups, other matchups not so much, and then you just put it in for a better hand trap that is better suited for your matchups. This got maybe changed out a couple times. Some matches swapped her out for effect veilers or anything like that. But main it's pretty good. Ash is just generic and rogue. It hits everything, but that's also rogue. 2 Zombie World, the star of the show. Pretty card is super annoying, especially for those decks that can't really do nothing without a specific type. Turn everything to zombies is really shitty, especially with the Warlord play that we do run in this deck. Very annoying. Now, this is where the deck gets a little not meta and becomes just more of a fun build, but I love this card to death, and a lot of people don't realize it's at 3 still. Pot of Avarice. We set up our graveyard a lot, and to have the option to recycle your resources back in the deck and then also +1 off in it is never a bad thing. It is actually really good. Like, zombies can set up their graveyard easily in their first turn, so it's definitely not a card that's live in your opening hand. But once you full combo, which with this deck it's extremely easy to go full combo, average becomes live, and it just allows you to draw into more disruptions or hand traps or something like that. Like, it's just really good. Like, and also, again, depending on your matchup, you can side these out. This is kind of like just a niche little gimmick because I love the card. I love the secret rares, and I mean, if it's not your cup of tea, I mean, you, of course, can just sub that in for whatever you like. Now, of course, what zombies are really known to be for, Super Poly. Scary freaking card. This, with Zombie World, is terrifying for your opponent, especially when you're going second. This card literally becomes a board breaker with Zombie World. Like, Super Poly is crazy. Like, I am shocked this has not gotten hit yet. I know people have been calling for this to go away, too, but, you know, I don't see it around. Like, Zombies is the only deck I really use this in, so it's like... Okay, it's also a good out for Dragoon. Now a bunch of one-off power spells. Monster Reborn, of course, Extender. Foolish Burial to dump zombies. Book of Life for another free extender. Plus, it's also really good because it banishes certain cards from your opponent's graveyard. So it's basically a Reborn with a DD Crow built in. So it's pretty good. Called by the Grave as well. And then, of course, the Instant Fusion for our target and our extra deck. So if you do, I mean, if you have, say, Ready Fusions, that's actually a really good... substitute as well for instant fusion, so if you do have the ready fusions, go for it. Now for traps, we do run the imperms. Imperm is good. Stops monster effects. It also shuts down spells and traps and columns, you know, standard imperm stuff. And then, of course, the dreaded combo with Zombie World is Rivalry of Warlords. This plus Zombie World is awful for any opponent because it literally... Okay, what are you gonna do? Like... That is it for the main deck. We're going to go to the extra deck now. We have the one Shiranui Sun Saga. Actually, a pretty dope card. A Formula Synchron, a Omega to recycle your Mizukis, and just it's annoying-ass card. And then, of course, Chaos Ruler, Chaotic Magical Dragon. This card digs you 5 deep, also sends the rest of the graveyard, so it helps set up graveyard as well. Now, these are the synchros. But if you do... if you have a Baroness de Fleur or whatever the $100 card is called, if you want, I would take out Chaotic Ruler and sub that in as well. It's a really good card, but, you know, I kind of like what these utility cards do for me more than that. I mean, Baroness is an insane card. I mean, if you do have it, I do recommend you play it, but for me... I like Chaos Ruler. I don't have Baroness, so I'm just going to use Chaos Ruler, which I think it does a lot of cool little niche things for graveyard setup, searching, and it's just a reoccurring card. Like, it's pretty dope. That is it for our synchros. Remember, we're going to go to the links. The only link one, because we only run one level 1 monster, Relinquish Anima. It's the best level 1 for this deck, personally, because if you, it's just like, hey, I want this card on my opponent's field, so I take it. So, like, Anima's pretty cool. And of course, we run Nightmare Phoenix and Nightmare Unicorn. Phoenix is in here because this deck sucks against back row decks. That's what a lot of my side deck is back row removal, like Twin Twisters and Cosmics, because this deck sucks against back rows. So Nightmare Unicorn, I say Phoenix is in here just for the built-in extra deck stuff. And then, of course, Unicorn is just Unicorn Spin. Like, it's dope. Then, of course, we have one Dagda for the Artifact engine. People are saying this or Scythe to get hit. I don't know. I mean, it's necessary evils, is it? Speaking of necessary evils, remember when Helcon, I say Sistron Helki Fibrex was terrifying? Yeah, what happened to this card? It's like I only use this in zombie decks now. Like, this card has fell a long way off the hype train. Then, of course, we have Savior for going first. Oh, no, second. Sucker for first, going first. Our utility link 2s to get fun stuff. And that is it for the links. Our fusions are just Super Poly and instant fusion targets. Our instant fusion target is Sea Monster of Theseus. Of course, Sea Monster Theseus. It is a built-in, just... It's a tuner, so it helps with synchro play as well. It's just it's a zombie too, so you know it's never a bad thing. Now, of course, we have the standard Starving Venom Fusion Dragon, nothing too crazy there. And of course, we have the two say Nether Souls. yeah, these are basically the board breaker cards with Super Poly along with Starmie Venom. So, I mean, if you could Super Poly with this too, if somehow your opponent has 2 tuners out, I mean, that's something that's weird. And synergy that could happen, you know, it happens. But that is it for the zombie deck profile. Like, again, my side deck is... I don't really show it because it's for more specific toward my locals. Like, everyone's side deck will be different, but if you do plan on making this deck and taking this deck to locals or anything, back row removal is what I suggest the most, because this deck hates back row and it sucks against it. So Twin Twisters, Cosmics, anything that disrupts back row, Lightning Storms, Harpy, Feather Duster, of course, that's all built in the side deck. So something necessary for side deck, I believe. But this has been my updated zombie deck profile. Probably not going to update this again for a while until my Akashi gets their broken support, which that's going to be pretty hype. But thank you guys for watching. So let me know down in the comments below what you want to see, so what you think. So let me any suggestions on what you want to see profile-wise or anything like that. But until my next video, hope you guys are doing good and staying safe and staying healthy, and I hope you guys had a Merry, Merry Christmas. And until my next video, bye-bye.